Welcome back to this Tuts Plus course on creating content in WordPress using posts and pages. In this part of the course, I'll show you how to create a post in WordPress and how to add content to it. So here's your dashboard page. Now there are a few ways that you can create a new post. Firstly, you could simply click on this link here, write your first blog post, and that takes you to the Add New Post screen. Alternatively, in Posts in the admin menu here, you can click on Add New. And the third option is the Add New link in the menu bar up here. So you can either hover over Add New and click on Post, or because the default content type, if you click on Add New up here, is a post, you can just click on that. So all of those options take us to the Add New Post screen. But before we add a post, let's just take a look at the Posts listing screen. So here, you've got a screen with all of your posts listed. And when you first install WordPress, there will be a dummy post in there called Hello World. And here it is. And if you want, you can edit it, or you can just delete it. Now I'm going to delete it by moving it to the trash. So I clicked on Move to Trash there, and when I go back into my post lists, you can see there's nothing in my published posts, but if I click on Trash, there it is. So let's use the Add New button up here, which is another way to add a new post. So let's take a look at the Add New Post screen before we start adding content. Here you need to add the title of your post, and then in this box here, you add all of your content. Now something I find useful is to toggle the toolbar on here, and you can see that gives me some formatting options that I can use. And you'll also find this in the screen for adding new pages. Over here on the right hand side, you've got the Publish meta box. So this is where you publish your post, and we'll have a look at that in a moment when we've added some content. You can then select what format of post it is. And this doesn't make any difference to what you can add to your post, but depending on the way your theme's set up, it might make a difference to the way that it's displayed. Moving down, we've got categories and tags. And I'm going to cover categories and tags in detail in the next part of the course. And then finally, there's the featured image. So let's go back up and add a title to our post. So that's the title of my new post, and you'll see WordPress automatically generates a slug for you. And this is based on the URL of the site. I've got mine on localhost because this is a local site, and then welcome to my new website, which is the name of the post. Now if you want to, you can edit that and you can change that slug. So you could make it just welcome. Now that can be really useful for an SEO point of view. So if there are keywords that you want to add to your slugs, you can do that. So now let's type some content into our post. So that's my first paragraph. And to create a new paragraph, you simply hit Return or Enter on your keyboard and type again. So let's add an image. And to do that, you click on the Add Media button up here. So I'll click on that Add Media button, and that gives me the Media Uploader. Now I have two options here. I can either upload files from my computer, or I can use the media library. Now this is a brand new site and it doesn't have any media added to it yet. So there's nothing to select here, and I'll have to upload something. Now again, I've got two options. I can either click the Select Files button, or I can drag a file from my computer onto this screen. I'm going to click the button. And here I've got an image that I've already saved that I downloaded from Wikipedia. Now that's my image, and I can specify some things about it here. Do I want to add a caption to it? Yes, I'll do that. I'm adding a picture of some daffodils because it's spring here today. And then for accessibility purposes, it's really good to add some alt text. You can also add a description if you want, which will help with your SEO, because if somebody finds your image using Google, they'll see this description. Now, I can then change how I want my image to display. So at the moment, it's got no alignment. Let's have a look how that will look. So that's my image, and it'll just sit below my content, looking fairly ordinary. And what I can do is preview it to see how it will look. So if I click this preview button here, a new window opens that shows me how my post will look. Now I'm not that excited by the way my image is looking right now, so I'm going to close that window, go back to my post editing screen, and I'm going to edit my image. And here I click on the Edit button. Now I could have done this when I was uploading my image, and I'll show you again in a moment when we upload a second image. So I'm going to center this image, and you can also select an option. Now it's quite a small image I've uploaded, so the only options I've got for this one are thumbnail or full size. But you'll also find you have a large and medium option if you've uploaded a larger image. And finally, you can specify whether you want to link it to anywhere. Now you can link it to the attachment page for the image, to a media file, which is the file for that image itself, to another URL. So for example, I could link to the Wikipedia page on daffodils, or to none. And I'm going to select none right here. So I click on update, and that's centered now. And now let's have a look at a preview again, and that looks a bit better. It's still not perfect because an image that width doesn't look fantastic centered like that, but next I'll show you how to add an image where the text is wrapped around it. So let's close that preview window, and my image is at the bottom of my page, so I put my cursor to the right of the caption and hit return to start a new paragraph. And the next thing to do is upload another image. Now for the image to be aligned next to this text, I actually add it before the text. Now I can add my image before the text here, and I put my cursor on the left, whether I want my image to be on the left or the right. And now let's click on Add Media again. I'm not going to use the same image from my media library, instead I'm going to go to Upload Files. I click on the Select Files button, and now I've got a nice image of some tulips. Now again, I'm going to add a caption and some alt text, making sure I correct any typos. And then now I'm going to align it on the right. I'm going to link to the attachment page so that we can see how that works. Don't worry about that URL, that's automatically populated for you. So here now, because it's a larger image, I have some options. I can either insert a thumbnail image, a medium, a large, or the full-size image. So I click on medium here, and then I click on Insert into Post. So there's my image with the text aligned next to it. And let's add another paragraph and see how that works. So now you can see the text is wrapping underneath. And let's have a look at that preview page again. So there's my first image centered and my second image that has got the text wrapped around it. And I think you'll agree that that second one looks a lot nicer than the first one. So I'll close that preview page again and go back to my text. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to add a link. And what I'm going to do is add a link to the original page for one of my images. So first let's find that. And there's the Wikipedia page with my image of a tulip. I'll copy that link, go back to my post, and here I'm going to select the word image. And I'm going to use that as my link text. So up here in my formatting bar, there's an Insert Edit Link button. So I click on that, and then I just type it in and hit return. WordPress also makes it really easy to add links to your existing content, and I'll show you how to do that shortly. So now let's add another type of media, which is a file. So I'll scroll down, and I've added a new paragraph here, and now I click the Add Media button. And again, I want to upload files, so I click Select Files, and that's a PDF file that I've downloaded from the internet. Now here is the title, which by default is the file name, but that's what will appear as the link to your PDF. So whatever you type here is what will show up on the page. You don't need captions or descriptions for this, and here you can specify whether it goes to an attachment page or to the media file. I'm going to take it straight to the media file. So when somebody clicks on the link, it opens the file in their browser. I click Insert into Post, and you can see that that's been added. So now if I preview my post and I click on that, it opens my file. I'll go back, and if you remember, with this image, I added a link to that to its attachment page. So if I click on that, it takes me to a page that WordPress creates that is just for showing that image. Now this is useful if you want to showcase your images in their own pages, but I tend to not use links for images, or I might link them to something that's relevant to the image. So for example, on my portfolio site, I have images of websites I've created, and if you click on the link, it takes you to that website. Or alternatively, you could click to the image itself, and then it would open the image full screen in your browser. So let's go back to our post. Now don't forget we're still in preview here. So I'll close that, and what I'm finally going to do is publish my post. And you can see WordPress gives you a notification up here that it's been published, and a link to view it, and the publish button changes to update. So let's view our post. Welcome to my new website. And it also shows up on the front page because it's the latest post. So that's how you add a post in WordPress, and how you add content to it, including images and links. Finally, let's take a look at some of the different options you've got for publishing your posts. So here's the editing screen for my blog post, and I've already published this, but if I wanted to, I could change its status. So I can select pending review or draft. Now, pending review is what you use if you're an author on a site and there's an editor who's going to review it for you. Public visibility is the default, but you can make it private if you want. And if it's private, it's only visible to editors or administrators. So that's quite useful for testing out how your posts work in your live site without your visitors actually being able to see it. I'll click on cancel to keep that as public. And then the other option you have is to change the date that your posts are published. So you can publish it in the past if you want. So I could have published this a week ago. Or alternatively, I can schedule it in the future. So here I've got a future date. If I click OK, the publish button changes to schedule. And if I then schedule that post, it won't appear on my site until that date, April the 30th. I'm going to change that back and click OK, and then click the update button to save my changes. In the next part of this course, I'm going to show you how to add categories and tags to your posts, and also how to use the different post formats. See you next time, and thanks for watching.